Okay, I think we're live. Hey guys, Kate here. Just wanted to say hi and good morning. And it's a beautiful day here in South Florida. I think it's around 72 degrees. It was 66 when I left this morning. And it's a little windy. Just started lacrosse practice this week. I'm out there 4 nights a week, and I'm a little windburned and my lips are a little chapped. So I've got some Roses lip balm going on, trying to fix my lips. So sorry if I'm licking them a lot. So here today I'll be talking briefly about the Health at Every Size movement. Health at Every Size is a book, a website, and a social movement whose purpose is to encourage body acceptance and self-confidence with one's body, often through the rejection of weight loss as a goal. But before I go any further, I got to throw out my little disclaimer that this workshop is for informational and educational purposes only and should not take the place of any medical advice you receive from your healthcare practitioner. And I will reference information that I've borrowed from places, but a lot of this is my opinion and my interpretation of things. Today, I'm borrowing most of my factual information and quotes from the Health at Every Size website, which you can visit at www.haescommunity.com. I've also read Linda Bacon's book, which is entitled Health at Every Size, The Surprising Truth About Your Weight. And I would highly recommend that book to anybody who's interested in getting into this subject really deeply, because I'm just going to touch on some of the topics today here, try to keep it a little shorter than last time. So first I wanted to give you a summary of what the Health at Every Size, which is abbreviated HAES, that's what people call it for short, what the HAES movement is all about. HAES follows 3 basic principles. The first principle is, number 1, respect for all body shapes and sizes. We want to honor the fact that people have differences in size, age, race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, socioeconomic class, and other human attributes. One is not better than another, and all should be given equal respect regardless of differences we may have in these and other areas. The second principle is critical awareness. The HAES movement asks us to challenge scientific and cultural assumptions like fat equals unfit, and also to value body knowledge and lived experiences. So what does that mean? HAES wants people to question their learned belief system, which keeps us stuck in the diet mindset, that the only way to be healthy is to be thin or to inhabit a smaller body, and that if we are fat or living in a larger body, that we need to lose weight in order to get healthy. The HAES movement wants us to throw that idea out entirely, that fat is unfit and thin is fit, and instead to get back in touch with our own bodies and to relearn to trust our bodies and ourselves, to honor our hunger and our fullness. And all this ties the Health at Every Size movement back to intuitive eating, which is really what my workshop is all about. And the third principle of HAES is compassionate self-care, which is something we all need more of these days. The HAES movement wants us to adopt healthy habits, to find joy in moving our bodies, or what many of us would call exercise, to eat in a flexible and attuned manner, which can be called intuitive eating, where we eat for hunger and until fullness, but also where we eat foods that bring us satisfaction and pleasure and nourishment. HAES wants us to recognize that people of all shapes and sizes are worthy of good things in life, that no matter what your body looks like, we all deserve to eat good food, to move our bodies in ways that feel good, that we should all be able to shop for and wear clothes that make us feel and look attractive. Hey, Alyssa and Lauren, thanks for joining. That we deserve to be loved and treated fairly and not discriminated against based on our appearance. So guys, that last point, that's what I really want to talk about today in this short little workshop series. Through the rest of the workshop series, we're mostly going to focus on the intuitive eating principles. But understanding what the Health at Every Size movement is trying to say is really, really vital to embracing the philosophy of intuitive eating. HAES rejects the social norm that says if you're fat, you're not healthy. It rejects the belief that fat people are somehow lazy or undisciplined, or they eat unhealthy foods most of the time, or they hate exercising, or they're somehow responsible for the way their body looks. Because as I'll get into later on in the workshop series, there's so many factors that go into your body shape and size that you are not in control of. Your body really controls itself, and most of our efforts that we put into controlling it are, number one, going to drive us crazy, and number two, not really going to change the way your body looks for the most part. Your set point weight is designed to fluctuate within 5 to 20 pounds of where your body's supposed to be. But if you try to drive your body to go way below that, or if you're eating to a point that you're way above that, you're going to set off all sorts of alarms that makes your body unhappy. So we'll talk about that more in the series. But back to HAES. I can't really say it better than they say it on the website, so I'm actually going to read right from the website. And they say, in quotation, "Let's face facts. We've lost the war on obesity. Fighting fat hasn't made the fat go away. And being thinner, even if we knew how to successfully accomplish it, will not necessarily make us healthier or happier. The war on obesity has taken its toll. Extensive collateral damage has resulted: food and body preoccupation, self-hatred, eating disorders, discrimination, poor health, etc. Few of us are at peace with our bodies, whether because we're fat or because we fear becoming fat. Health at Every Size is the new peace movement." So what I think they're trying to say on the website is, number one, fat isn't the problem. Dieting is the problem. Fat isn't necessarily unhealthy, and just because someone is fat doesn't mean you can presume to know why. The more we try to control people's weights, the fatter we become as a nation. We can see this especially in children. And, you know, the more low fat, low sugar, low this, low that they come out with, people just keep getting fatter. So trying to control certain things isn't necessarily having the result, the desired result. So maybe we need to think about that a little bit. HAES also says that weight loss isn't something we have control over, and it's not the solution to all our problems. I mean, we can see clearly if we take Oprah as an example, and I hope if I'm ever lucky enough for Oprah to watch this, she takes my using her as a compliment, not like I'm picking on her, because I do love Oprah. But here's a woman who has every resource at her disposal, and she can't seem to maintain her weight loss for the long term, and she can't seem to give up on trying to lose weight. She even bought a percentage. She bought 10% of a weight loss company, and that hasn't worked to her advantage. Oprah loses weight and gains weight and loses weight and gains weight. She's done that countless times, and it doesn't seem to make her any happier. And that makes me really sad. So we might conclude that the harder we try to lose weight, the unhappier we get. And finally, I think HAES wants us to come to the realization that the only way to true and lasting happiness is to accept who we are and to incorporate healthy habits into our lives, regardless of how these habits impact our weight. We're not talking about well-being. We're talking about how those habits affect our weight, exercise, and diet for the point of trying to lose weight. So guys, for those of you who are interested, there's so much more to read on the subject of Health at Every Size. I'd love to refer you some additional resources. I have piles of books that I could talk about. But the messages I hope everybody leaves from this workshop here today are: the Health at Every Size movement reminds us that, number one, you can't judge someone based on how they look. Hey, Glenn, thanks for joining us. That skinny girl in the slinky dress over in the corner at the party who looks awesome, she might be a smoker and have heart disease brewing inside of her. And the fat girl on the treadmill might not be trying to run off her fat. She might be training for her like 5th marathon. Number 2, we shouldn't exercise and eat healthy with weight loss as the goal. We should do these things in ways that we enjoy because we love and respect our bodies and we want to inhabit them in an enjoyable way for as long as possible. And number 3, this is a big one. Not seeking weight loss. So somebody who stops dieting, somebody who rejects dieting or gives up dieting, that doesn't mean that somebody has thrown in the towel or given up on themselves. Actually, not seeking weight loss is one of the healthiest things you can do for yourself. And time and again, studies prove that the surest way to gain weight is to try to lose it. And finally, number 4, please remember these following things when you make a snap judgment about somebody. Maybe my talking to you and you listening to this today could help somebody out there change the way they think and make judgments about people, and that's really what I'm going for here. So when you see somebody, when you see a little girl with a big giant belly, please don't think that she either has neglectful parents or she just goes home to an empty house and sits around and eats Oreos all day. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, but you don't know and you can't decide that based on what she looks like. Please don't ever assume that the lady walking down the street with a giant booty, number 1, feels badly about herself, or number 2, is lazy and has some sort of problem. Please don't ever decide that the guy with the giant belly must drink a lot of beer and never steps foot in a gym. The fact is, people are fat and gain weight for a lot of reasons, and most of them are not because they're lazy. And please, please do not ever discuss your child's weight with them. Please don't make food about their weight or their weight about the food they eat. If you would like some suggestions about how to talk to your child about the food they eat, I would love to talk to you offline because it's very, very, very important to me and very important. They're finding more and more to never make the association between food and your child's weight. More and more scientific studies, documented studies are coming out that show that putting children on diets and restricting their food sets them up for a lifetime of disordered eating and negative relationship with food and their bodies. Please love on your kids and tell them they're beautiful and attractive and wonderful and lovely and smart and amazing and kind and perfect to you in so many ways. Please, even if you realized while listening to this workshop that you yourself might have some deep-seated fat phobia going on, please try not to instill that in your kids. And please try never to make your kids think that they're being loved is dependent on what they look like. So that's it for today. I didn't want to get that deep into the HAES movement because I could spend a year of workshops just talking about that. But it is crucial that if you're going to embark on the intuitive eating journey, that you're aware of the HAES movement. And just to wrap things up, I wanted to say that if you like my approach or anything I have to say, please know that I am an integrative nutrition health coach. That means that I coach clients on all aspects of becoming more well and incorporating more healthy habits into their lives. You don't have to be interested or into intuitive eating to work with me. That's just the focus of this workshop series. In fact, after last week's workshop, one person contacted me about working with their child to incorporate more foods into their child's diet. And another person contacted me to help her rekindle the spark in her kitchen. Because I offer cooking lessons, I work with kids. That's probably my most favorite thing to do because they're so much easier than adults. I create meal plans. I talk with clients about all aspects of health and well-being, including your sex life. I'm not a licensed therapist, but in my certification to become a health coach, we did talk about, romance and your love life. And I can offer information, things like, did you know that being under too much stress can actually kill or significantly reduce your libido? So your partner or spouse should encourage you to go out and relieve stress so you can have more passion in the bedroom. And all my stress workshop participants, I did that one in person. They really loved that subject. We mostly talked about that. So if you'd like to learn more about anything I talked about today, I encourage you to contact me directly. You can check out my website, which is www.kpcoachingjupiter.com, or email me at ktponder@kpcoachingjupiter.com, or private message me here on Facebook, or check me out on Instagram at Kate_Ponder. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this workshop. And join me next week on Valentine's Day, February 14th, to talk about loving the one you're with, your body, that is. So that's all for today. Until next week, be well and be happy, and bye for now. Thanks for coming out and watching. Bye.